Image on the right. A healthy dog is receiving gut thrust. A plastic tube is inserted into his thoracic lymph duct. The fluid coming out of the tube is lymph. Just before it flows from thoracic duct into the subclavian vein and join the blood circulation. Left image is the same dog, not undergoing gut thrust. Please pay attention to the flow rate of lymph. The frequency of gut thrust is 1 thrust per second. The duration is 4 minutes. Repeated experimental results show there is an average 10-fold increase of lymph flow during treatment. In this experiment, scientists want to know if the lymph without immune cells is protective. The experiment is done in vitro with mouse macrophages. In vitro means in glass, essentially outside of body, comparing to in vivo, which means experiment is done in living organisms. Macrophage means big eaters. They are a type of immune cell found everywhere in the body, from gut to brain, skin to heart. They are like police officers, patrolling, arresting, for them, engulfing, also communicating. If situation is out of control, calling for reinforcement. Like local police, these macrophages are called different name in different tissue. They are called monocyte in blood, microglia in brain, etc. Just like NYPD and LAPD. Different name, same function. Some of them are local, stay in one place, like microglia. Others are global. They're going everywhere, like monocyte. Saline solution is used as point of reference when comparing with same volume of filtered lymph. To stimulate the macrophage activity, same amount of lipopolysaccharide, LPS, is added to all samples. LPS is a potent bacterial toxin that can activate the immune system and cause fever. After 24 hours, 4 parameters are measured. Number 1, macrophage viability. Are these macrophages dead or alive? 24 hours later, 90% of these still alive in our samples, despite the presence of bacterial toxin. They are truly the toughest guys in our body. Number 2, nitrite. Nitrite is macrophage-produced antibiotics. Nitrite could also be used as raw material to produce other antibiotics. Number 3, tumor necrosis factor alpha, also called TNF-alpha. This is a macrophage-produced pro-inflammatory cytokine, which means it is an urgent message to the immune system. It orders other immune cells who get the message to gather and fight. All normal activities are stopped. a full-blown war is playing out. Affected tissues will be hot, painful, with redness and swelling. The tissue will also lose its function. Interleukin-10, IL-10, is also a macrophage-produced cytokine, which tells the body to send anti-inflammatory agent to repair the damage, as well as decrease immune system activation. Peace, not war. For samples with dark filtered lymph, a significant decrease of nitrite, TNF-alpha, and IL-10 were found when comparing with saline solution. TNF-alpha has the largest decline. Dogs' filtered lymph seem to calm down mouse macrophage. These tough guys not only reduced their weapon production, decreased the urgent level of alert, they also ask less for help. These tough guys cannot be fooled. They can only calm down if real help is in place. The filtered healthy lymph is not only protective, their protection is cross-individual, even species, which may be called universal love. The protective ability for the lymphs collected before, during, and after gut thrust had no statistical difference between them. Gut thrust significantly increased the volume of lymph that infused into circulation. Until now, no one knows the mysterious agent that make lymph protective. Macrophage imbalance seems to be the main cause of rheumatoid arthritis and many other autoimmune diseases. Based on an extensive review of recent studies, there are at least two types of macrophages, M1 and M2. Rheumatoid arthritis patients had a lot more M1 than M2 in their system. M1 and M2 are like identical twins, grow up in completely different environment. Therefore, developed unique traits. M1 is raised in a pampered, protective environment, less able to deal with difficulties, and cry for help easily. M2 need to deal with many complex situations since an early age. M2 learned how to solve problems independently. M2 is also able to live peacefully with a diverse population and only become aggressive to real threat. M2 is our cool guy because he is so cool. When M1 moved into joint capsule, M1 transformed into osteoclast, the destroyer of bones and cartilage. When M2 moved into joint capsule, M2 became osteoblast, the rebuilder of bone and cartilage. The joint deformation and bone cartilage destruction in rheumatoid arthritis patients is caused by M1, who is able to eat more invaders and leave no trace behind. M1 or M2? Yes, it's M2. Who can organize and stimulate tissue recovery? M1 or M2? Yes, M2. Who can cry wolf and gather other immune cells for a full-blown war? Yes, M1. Who can, without much provocation, produce chemical and biological weapons that will cause collateral damage? Yes, M1. Do you want more M2, the cool guy, patrolling your body? I do. Where can you find the most abundant and best trained M2 in our body? You're right, it is the gut, where trillions of microorganisms live side by side with our cool gut macrophages. When they migrate into circulation, they are called monocyte. With gut thrust, more of these cool M2 will be hanging out there, bring peace and recovery. One stone, two birds. One gut thrust, two protective agent. Healing lymph and M2 macrophage from gut. I'm doing gut thrust to my cat, Wise. Gut thrust doing so many things. I probably need to do it to myself too.